Long before kingdoms were built by kings, and long before history carved names into cold, hard stone, there were the tribes. The earth was young, untamed, and ruled by forces as old as the mountains themselves. And among the most feared, the most respected, were the stone clans. From the windswept peaks lived the Kara tribe of the Black Hills, their spirits as hard and unforgiving as the granite they called home. In the sun-scorched earth below lived the Owe tribe of the Red Valley, their hearts burning with the fierce heat of the desert canyons. For generations, their hatred was a story passed down not in words, but in scars. Their battles were not recorded in books, but written in the blood that stained the land between them. Their feud was older than memory, a dark shadow that consumed everything it touched. In the heart of a sacred forest, a place whispered to be the domain of ancient spirits, a place where no warrior from either tribe dared to cross, two souls met not by choice, but by a twist of fate. He was Taro, son of the Carrot chieftain. His hands were calloused from the grip of his spear, his shoulders broad from a life of the hunt. He was known for his courage, a young man said to possess the quiet strength of the mountain lion. She was Lira, the daughter of the Owe spiritual leader. Her knowledge of the earth was profound. She could read the stories in the leaves and hear the whispers of the wind. She was gentle, wise, yet a fire burned within her, a spirit as fierce and untamable as any warrior's. As Lira gathered wild berries near a shimmering stream, Taro emerged from the dense woods. Their eyes met across the sun-dappled clearing. There was no fear, no ancestral hatred that should have been there. Instead, there was only wonder. In that silent, breathless moment, their hearts spoke a language far older than conflict, a language of recognition, a connection that defied generations of war. Drawn by this unbreakable bond, they began to meet in secret. Night after night, when the world was asleep, they would find each other beneath the silver light of the moon. In their hidden sanctuary, the war between their peoples simply ceased to exist. Taro would share tales of tracking elusive beasts through the high mountains, and Lira would speak of ancient legends and the secret remedies of the earth. They shared laughter that echoed softly through the trees and dreams of a world where their tribes were not defined by their differences, but love, especially in a world consumed by war, is a flame too bright to remain hidden for long. Its light inevitably casts a shadow. One fateful evening, a lone hunter from the Carrot tribe, tracking game far from his usual path, stumbled upon their secret meeting. His eyes widened in disbelief and then narrowed with rage. The secret was out. Like a spark on dry tinder, the news spread, carried on whispers of betrayal that burned like fire across both the hills and the valley. The reaction was immediate and brutal. Betrayal, rage, pride. The fragile peace of the wilderness was shattered. The Carrot clan, feeling dishonored by their chieftain's son, demanded vengeance for this unforgivable transgression. The Owe clan, believing their spiritual leader's daughter had been corrupted, called for the defense of their honor. The air, once filled with the sounds of nature, was now pierced by the chilling beat of war drums. The sharpening of stones, the clash of spears, and the guttural cries of warriors ready for battle echoed through the canyons. The love that should have been a bridge to unite them had become the very spark that ignited an all-consuming war. The land trembled as two ancient forces prepared to tear each other apart. As the battle raged, the earth itself seemed to weep, soaking up the blood of the fallen. Warriors, once neighbors in a shared land, were now locked in a desperate, brutal struggle. Exhausted, wounded, and driven by a hatred they barely understood, they fought on. It was then, in the heart of the chaos, that Taro and Lira made their stand. They walked onto the battlefield, two lone figures standing between the clashing armies. Taro raised his voice, a commander's call that cut through the noise. "This war ends now," he boomed, his voice filled with desperation and authority. Beside him, Lyra's voice, clear and powerful, cried out, "We are not enemies. Look at what this hatred is doing to us." For a fleeting moment, there was a pause. Some warriors lowered their weapons, their eyes clouded with confusion. But in times of blind hatred, the voice of reason, the plea of love, is too easily drowned by the roar of rage. From the ranks of the Kara, a spear flew, aimed at the Oe girl who had bewitched their prince. At the exact same instant, from the Oe side, another spear soared through the air, meant for the Kara boy who had defiled their sacred lineage. A dramatic, deafening silence fell over the battlefield. The spears found their marks, and the lovers fell. Side by side, they collapsed onto the blood-soaked earth, their hands still reaching, forever reaching, for each other. The battle stopped. The drums went silent. Spears and clubs dropped from nerveless hands. As the warriors from both tribes stared at the two fallen figures, they saw not a Kara prince or an Oe maiden. For the first time, they saw simply two young people. And in their tragic end, they finally saw the terrible price of their own hatred. Taro and Lira were buried together, not in their separate clan lands, but under the ancient sprawling tree where they had first met, the place where their love had blossomed. Their story lived on, passed down from generation to generation. It was not remembered as a tragedy, but as a powerful, enduring reminder. A lesson carved not into stone, but into the very soul of the people. Love is the oldest law of the earth. It is older than tribes. It is older than war. It is older than time itself. And its power, even in death, can change everything. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the dawn of time.